Sometimes, even the biggest names in Hollywood miss out. These actors gave it their all, came heartbreakingly close, and still walked away empty-handed. But in many cases, rejection led them somewhere better. Dwayne Johnson, Jack Reacher in Jack Reacher. He's The Rock, but even he got rocked by this audition. Before Tom Cruise became Jack Reacher, Dwayne Johnson threw his hat in the ring. He went all in for the part but lost it to Cruise. Instead of being bummed, Johnson used it as fuel, calling it powerful motivation. Talk about turning a setback into a comeback. Kurt Russell, Han Solo in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Imagine Han Solo, but with a different scoundrel. Kurt Russell was one of the final guys for Han Solo, but he was also up for a TV Western and needed an answer ASAP. George Lucas hadn't made up his mind, so Russell went with the TV gig. Harrison Ford swooped in, and the rest is cinematic history. Jenna Ortega, Chani in Dune. Before Wednesday, she tried to walk the sands of Arrakis. Jenna Ortega revealed she auditioned for Dune when she was just 15. She thinks it was for Chani, the role that Zendaya eventually crushed. The whole process was super secretive, leaving Ortega guessing what the film was even about. Timothée Chalamet, Peter Parker in Spider-Man Homecoming. The internet's boyfriend almost wore the Spidey suit. Timothée Chalamet tested for Peter Parker in the Spider-Man reboot, but didn't land the part. He's had a few near misses like this early on. The role spun into Tom Holland's web, whose energy was exactly what the studio wanted. No worries for Chalamet, though. He quickly became a Hollywood darling. Emma Stone, Alice in Wonderland. This Oscar winner was once told off with her head by Tim Burton. Before her Oscar win, Emma Stone auditioned for Alice in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. She admitted the rejection stung, calling it really devastating. The role went to Mia Wasikowska, whose quiet intensity fit Burton's vision. Stone, meanwhile, kept climbing the ladder of success. Meryl Streep, Dwan in King Kong. Even the goat got called ugly for a role in Italian. Early in her career, Meryl Streep auditioned for King Kong and got a harsh rejection. She overheard the producer in Italian asking why he'd brought in this ugly thing. Fluent in Italian, Streep calmly replied, apologizing for not being beautiful enough. Jessica Lange got the part, and Streep went on to become, well, Meryl Streep. Russell Crowe, Michael in My Best Friend's Wedding. His audition was so bad, Julia Roberts didn't even get eye contact. Russell Crowe auditioned for My Best Friend's Wedding, but it went sideways fast. During a table read with Julia Roberts, he read his lines in a flat monotone, never making eye contact. Despite thinking he nailed it, he was passed over for Dermot Mulroney. Tom Hiddleston, Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Loki almost sailed the high seas, but he was a bit unprepared. Long before Loki, Tom Hiddleston auditioned for Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean. He admitted he showed up late, slightly hungover, and unprepared. The casting director gave him a stern talking to. Orlando Bloom got the part, and Hiddleston learned a valuable lesson in professionalism. Jamie Foxx, Rod Tidwell in Jerry Maguire.
Show me the money.
Jamie Foxx auditioned for Rod Tidwell in Jerry Maguire, but Cuba Gooding Jr. got the role. Foxx crushed the initial auditions, but nerves got the best of him reading opposite Tom Cruise, making him break character. Years later, they finally teamed up in Collateral. Jennifer Lawrence, Bella Swan in Twilight. The odds were never in her favor for this vampire romance. Jennifer Lawrence auditioned for Bella Swan in Twilight, but was rejected fast. She didn't even get a call back and knew it wasn't going to happen. She admits landing the part would have totally changed her career. Kristen Stewart became Bella, launching a global phenomenon. Jake Gyllenhaal, Frodo in The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. One audition to rule them all, but he forgot his accent. Jake Gyllenhaal auditioned for Frodo in Lord of the Rings, and it was rough. He didn't realize he needed a British accent and delivered his lines without one. Peter Jackson reportedly called it one of the worst auditions he'd ever seen. Elijah Wood got the iconic role instead. Matthew McConaughey, Jack Dawson in Titanic. Matthew McConaughey auditioned for Jack Dawson in Titanic and thought he had it. He even called his agent, confident he nailed it. Despite his conviction, Leonardo DiCaprio became the legendary Jack. McConaughey later clarified he was never officially offered it, just very, very close. Nicole Kidman, Anna Scott in Notting Hill. The Aussie star wasn't quite famous enough for this rom-com gem. Nicole Kidman wanted to play Anna Scott in Notting Hill, opposite Hugh Grant. She later felt she wasn't well-known or talented enough at the time. Julia Roberts, with her massive star power, landed the role, making the film a global hit. Reese Witherspoon, Cher in Clueless. As if Cher could have had a different blonde bombshell. Before Alicia Silverstone became Cher, Reese Witherspoon was a top contender. Director Amy Heckerling was impressed, but felt Silverstone just embodied the character. Witherspoon, of course, went on to become a major star in her own right, famously in Legally Blonde. John Krasinski, Steve Rogers in Captain America: The First Avenger. Jim Halpert almost wielded the shield. John Krasinski came super close to being Captain America, even trying on the suit, but then he heard Marvel picked Chris Evans. Krasinski took it in stride, admitting that once he saw Evans in the role, it made perfect sense. He found his own action hero success later on. Chris Klein, Sky in Mamma Mia. His Mamma Mia audition went viral for all the wrong reasons. Years after it happened, Chris Klein's Mamma Mia audition tape resurfaced and blew up online. He sang "Lay All Love on Me" with memorable enthusiasm for the role of Sky.
Don't go wasting your emotion. Lay all your love on me.
The part ultimately went to Dominic Cooper. It's a performance. Tom Holland, Finn in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Spider-Man couldn't stop laughing during his Star Wars audition. Before he was Spider-Man, Tom Holland auditioned for Finn in Star Wars: The Force Awakens multiple times. He even made it 4 or 5 rounds. During one scene, he had to act opposite a stand-in droid, and he just couldn't stop laughing. The Force wasn't with him that day, and John Boyega got the part. Freddie Prinze Jr., Billy Loomis in Scream. This 90s heartthrob almost became a famous slasher. Freddie Prinze Jr. made it to the final audition for Billy Loomis in Scream. He was seriously in the running for the killer boyfriend, but the role went to Skeet Ulrich. Prinze Jr. soon found his horror niche with I Know What You Did Last Summer, becoming a teen thriller staple. Amanda Seyfried, Glinda in Wicked. Amanda Seyfried was so determined to play Glinda that she auditioned for Wicked while juggling one of the toughest roles of her career. At the time, she was deep in character as Elizabeth Holmes on The Dropout, a performance that would eventually earn her an Emmy. Yet, she carved out weekends to chase a dream. She told Backstage in 2022, "I literally bent over backwards while playing the hardest role of my life." Her background in musicals, she played Cosette in Les Miserables, made her a serious contender. While she didn't land the role, she said the audition experience was invaluable, prepping her for future musical roles. It's a perfect example of how some stars never stop grinding, even when they're already on top. It just goes to show you, even the biggest stars face rejection. But sometimes, missing out on one role opens the door to something even better. Which of these missed opportunities surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Hollywood insights.